Good day everyone. Our topic for today is all about implicit differentiation. So let's start. Now first question is, what is explicit form and implicit form? Let's have some example. So if we have y is equal to f of x or y is equal to function of x, whatever function it is, and we have y is equal to 3x cubed plus 2x, and we have f of x is equal to x over 1 plus 2x. Now don't forget na yung f of x is still y. Now, ano yung common sa kanila? So, yung common sa kanila is we have in the form of y is equal to some function of x. Or simply, naka-isolate yung y. And once na yung ating equation ay naka-rewrite in this form, y is equal to some function of x, those equation ay matatawag nating naka-rewrite in explicit form. Now, ano naman yung example ng implicit form? Ito yung ilang example ng implicit form. So we have y squared plus 2y is equal to x. Now may question, sir, di ba nakahiwalay naman yung variable y? Not necessarily nakahiwalay. Kasi yung goal natin dito para masabi siyang explicit ay naka-rewrite as y is equal to some function of x. Now since hindi siya naka-rewrite as y is equal to some function of x, therefore yung y squared plus 2y is equal to x is an example of implicit form. Ito pa yung ilang equation na example ng implicit form. So we have x times y is equal to 1 and we have y cubed plus y squared plus y is equal to 3x. So lahat ng yan ay naka-rewrite in implicit form. Now, karamihan ng ating equation ay pwede nating i-rewrite from implicit papuntang explicit. Now, let's say for example yung number 1, y squared plus 2y is equal to x. Now, add 1 both sides. So, we have y squared plus 2y plus 1 is equal to x plus 1. Now, bakit tayo nag-add ng 1? Para yung y squared plus 2y plus 1 ay maging factorable. So, pag pinactor natin yan, we have y plus 1 raised to 2 is equal to x plus 1. Now, getting the square root both sides, we get y plus 1 is equal to positive or negative square root of x plus 1. Now, minus 1 both sides, we get y is equal to positive or negative square root of x plus 1 minus 1. Now, as you can see, from implicit form na y squared plus 2y is equal to x, na i-rewrite natin siya papuntang explicit form na y is equal to positive or negative square root of x plus 1 minus 1. Now, yung second equation natin, pwede rin natin siyang i-rewrite papuntang explicit. So, divide lang natin to both sides by x and we get y is equal to 1 over x. So, madali lang. Now, yung question is, lahat ba ng equation pwede nating i-rewrite ng explicit form? And the answer is, sometimes. Merong ilang equation na pwede nating i-rewrite papuntang explicit form, pero meron talagang ilang equation na hindi natin pwedeng isulat as explicit form. Now, yung example natin sa number 3, pwede natin siyang isulat papuntang explicit form, yun nga lang, hindi siya ganun kadali. Hindi ko na ipapakita kung paano ko kinuha yung explicit form niya, pero ito yung kanyang explicit form. Okay, so we have y is equal to cube root of 9 times the square root of something minus 1/3. Now, kung kukunin mo yung derivative niyan, itong equation na to, good luck naman sa'yo. Di ba? So, yung point, pwede natin siyang i-rewrite from implicit form papuntang explicit form. Yun nga lang, karamihan ng ating equation ay hindi ganun kadaling ilipat papuntang explicit form. Kaya nga yung lesson natin ngayon is implicit differentiation. Para kahit hindi natin siya ma-rewrite papuntang explicit form, pwede pa rin nating makuha yung kanyang derivative. Now, let's have some example. Use implicit differentiation to find the derivative of the following function with respect to x. So, ang goal nating mahanap is dy over dx. Meron tayong 5 example. Now, simulan natin sa example number 1. Tandaan natin na yung goal natin dito is makuha yung derivative of y with respect to x or dy over dx. Meron akong ilang note bago tayo mag-start. Una, we must treat y as a function of x. So, yung y is equal to some function of x. Pwedeng f of x, g of x, h of x, and so on and so forth. Yung point dito, yung y is a function of x. Anong klaseng function? We don't care. Okay? Keep in mind, na yung y is a function of x. Second na kailangan natin tandaan is we need to take the derivative both side with respect to x. Tandaan natin na ang kinukuha natin is dy over dx or the derivative of y with respect to x. Okay? So gawin natin, take the derivative both side with respect to x. We have the derivative of x cubed plus y cubed with respect to x is equal to the derivative of 19 with respect to x. Simplify natin, tandaang mabuti na pwede nating i-separate yung derivative using addition. We have the derivative of x cubed with respect to x plus the derivative of y cubed with respect to x is equal to the derivative of 19 with respect to x. Now, yung derivative ng x cubed with respect to x ay napakadali. Ito ay 3x squared lang. Yung derivative of 19 with respect to x, since yung 19 is constant, ito ay 0. Now, yung problem is paano natin kukunin yung derivative of y cubed with respect to x? Wala namang variable x dyan. Now, dito natin ngayon gagamitin yung sinabi ko kanina na we must treat y as a function of x. Now, it follows yung derivative of y cubed with respect to x can be written as the derivative of f of x raised to 3 with respect to x. Now, ang tanong, familiar ba kayo sa derivative of f of x raised to 3 with respect to x? Kung nakalimutan na, ibabalik ko lang ulit yung discussion natin sa chain rule. So, we have this. We have the chain rule and the general power rule. Tingnan natin mabuti. Ito ay kamukhang-kamukha ng general power rule. And again, yung general power rule ay nanggaling lang sa chain rule. So basically, meron lang tayong tatlong klase ng technique sa differentiation. So we have the product rule, the quotient rule, and the chain rule. Kasi yung general power rule ay nanggaling lang sa chain rule. Okay? Now, apply natin yung general power rule or simply the chain rule. So we have the derivative of f of x raised to 3 with respect to x is equal to 3 multiplied by f of x raised to 2. Bakit naging 2? Kasi 3 minus 1. Multiply the derivative of f of x with respect to x. Now, tandaan natin na yung given natin is hindi f of x. Ito ay y. So lahat ng f of x gagawin nating y. Balik natin sa pagiging y. So we have 3y squared multiplied by the derivative of y with respect to x. Simplify natin, so we have 3y squared times the derivative of y with respect to x is dy over dx. And yun yung goal natin, yun yung kailangan nating mahanap. Since alam na natin yung derivative ng y cubed with respect to x, so yung next line natin must be 3x squared, ito ay derivative ng x cubed with respect to x, plus yung derivative ng y cubed with respect to x is 3y squared times dy over dx. And then equal to 0. Yung goal natin ay mahanap yung dy over dx. Yung gagawin natin, subtract 3x squared both side o ilipat natin yung 3x squared sa kabilang side and then divide natin sa 3y squared. And we get dy over dx is equal to negative x squared over y squared. And we're done. So, ito na yung ating derivative of y with respect to x. So, we have negative x squared over y squared. Sa implicit differentiation, ito yung kailangan nating tandaan. Every time na kukunin natin yung derivative ng variable y, palagi tayong gagamit ng chain rule. Ibig sabihin nun, palagi tayong merong dy over dx. Every time na kukunin natin yung derivative ng y, dapat meron tayong dy over dx. Okay? So, let's move on to example number 2. So, we have 4y to the 4th power plus 2x cubed is equal to x. Now, first thing to do is to take the derivative both sides with respect to x. So, we have the derivative of 4y to the 4th plus 2x cubed with respect to x is equal to the derivative of x with respect to x. Now, kunin natin yung derivative ng 4y raised to the 4th power. Gagamit tayo dito ng chain rule. So, 4 multiplied by 4, we have 16. And then, yung 4 minus 1, we have 3. So, 16y raised to 3 multiplied by the derivative of y with respect to x, or dy over dx. Plus, the derivative of 2x cubed with respect to x. So, we have plus 6x squared is equal to derivative of x with respect to x. We have 1. Now, simplify natin and lipat na rin natin yung 6x squared sa kabilang side. So we have 16y cubed times dy over dx is equal to 1 minus 6x squared. Now, para makuha lang natin yung dy over dx, di-divide natin both side by 16y cubed. And we get dy over dx, and yun yung goal natin mahanap, is equal to 1 minus 6x squared over 16y cubed. And we're done. Now, let's move on to example number 3. So we have y cubed plus y squared plus y is equal to 3x. First thing to do, take the derivative both sides with respect to x. So we have the derivative of y cubed plus y squared plus y with respect to x is equal to the derivative of 3x with respect to x. Now, isa-isahin natin, derivative of y cubed with respect to x, so we have 3y squared times dy over dx plus derivative ng y squared with respect to x is 2y times dy over dx. So, gagamit tayo palagi ng chain rule. Plus, derivative of y with respect to x is equal to dy over dx is equal to derivative of 3x with respect to x is simply 3. Now, tandaan mabuti na every time na kukunin natin yung derivative ng variable y, palagi tayo dapat mayroong dy over dx. Okay? Yung reason, kasi yung y is a function of x. Okay? Next, factor out natin yung dy over dx. So, we have dy over dx multiplied by 3y squared plus 2y plus 1 is equal to 3. Now, divide both sides by 3y squared plus 2y plus 1 and we get dy over dx is equal to 3 over 3y squared plus 2y plus 1. Therefore, we have the derivative of y with respect to x is equal to 3 over 3y squared plus 2y plus 1. And we're done. Now, let's move on to example number 4. So, we have x times y is equal to 1. Now, take the derivative both sides with respect to x. So, we have the derivative of x times y with respect to x is equal to the derivative of 1 with respect to x. Again, keep in mind na yung y is a function of x. So, we have x times a function of x. So, ibig sabihin, ito ay naka-multiply. Since ito ay naka-multiply, gagamit tayo dito ng product rule. So, ano nga ba ulit yung product rule? So, we have derivative of the first times the second plus first times the derivative of the second. Apply natin. We have derivative of the first times the second plus first times the derivative of the second is equal to 0. Simplify natin and we get derivative of x with respect to x is just 1. 1 times y, simply y, plus x times dy over dx is equal to 0. Next, lipat natin yung y sa kabila. So, magiging negative y, then divide both sides by x. So, we have dy over dx is equal to negative y over x. And we're done. Now, to double check our answer, bakit hindi natin kunin yung derivative ng ating function nang nasa explicit form siya? So, yung ating explicit form ng x times y is equal to 1 is simply y is equal to 1 over x. Since ito ay quotient, so gagamit tayo ng quotient rule. Now, ang tanong, natatandaan pa ba natin yung quotient rule? So, we have low d high minus high d low, square the bottom, and there you go. So, apply natin. So, derivative both sides. We have dy over dx is equal to low d high minus high d low, square the bottom, and there you go. So, we have x times the derivative of 1 is just 0. So, we have 0 minus 1 times the derivative of x with respect to x is simply 1. So, we have dy over dx is simply negative 1 over x squared. Now, kung mapapansin, hindi sila magkamukha. Siyempre naman, kasi itong ating unang nakuha ay in terms of y. Now, kung papalitan natin yung y ng 1 over x, tingnan natin kung ano yung mangyayari. So, we have 1 over x, ito yung value ng y, all over x. So, andun pa rin yung negative sign. Simplify natin. So, paano mag-simplify ng complex fraction? Kunin natin yung numerator and then i-multiply natin sa reciprocal ng denominator. We have negative of 1 over x, ito yung numerator, times reciprocal ng x is 1 over x. Now, as you can see, we have negative 1 over x squared. And we're done. Those are just the same thing. Okay? So, let's move on to example number 5. First thing to do is to take the derivative both sides with respect to x. So we have the derivative of y cubed minus 3y squared is equal to 3 times the derivative of x squared times y with respect to x. Now, ang tanong, bakit natin inilabas yung 3? Now, tandaan natin mabuti na pwede natin i-pull out yung constant sa derivative. Okay? Next, simplify natin. Unahin na natin yung nasa left hand side. So we have derivative of y cubed with respect to x. So we have 3y squared times dy over dx. Minus derivative of 3y squared with respect to x. So we have 3y times dy over dx. Next, yung nasa right side, gagamitan natin ng product rule. Derivative of the first times the second plus first times derivative of the second. Apply natin. So this becomes 3 times derivative of the first. Ito ay x squared. Derivative ng x squared ay 2x times the second plus yung first natin, x squared, times derivative ng second natin which is dy over dx. Simplify natin yung nasa right hand side. So we have 6xy plus 3x squared times dy over dx. Next step natin, lipat natin yung 3x squared times dy over dx sa kabilang side. And then, ipa-factor out natin yung dy over dx. Now, factor out natin yung dy over dx and we get dy over dx multiplied by 3y squared minus 6y minus 3x squared is equal to 6xy. Next, divide natin both sides by 3y squared minus 6y minus 3x squared. And we get 6xy all over 3y squared minus 6y minus 3x squared. Kung mapapansin, pwede pa natin siyang i-simplify. Pwede natin i-factor out yung 3 sa numerator and i-factor out natin yung 3 sa denominator. Now, pag ginawa natin yon, we get 2xy all over y squared minus 2y minus x squared. And this is our final answer. And we're done.